Howdy, everyone. Let's chat. I was just reading something somebody sent me about non-citizen voter registration application. How much more un-American can you get? Non-citizen voter registration application. What's wrong with this picture? District of Columbia. What a surprise. How is everyone? I have been so unbelievably crazy busy the last few weeks here. We went on a tour called the Freedom Tour, and we've been endeavoring to do about 50 events in 25 days. We have, my hat's all messed up there. We have, let's see, 5 days left and 15 events, I think. So tomorrow is actually a light day because Thursday I have a forum with Dan Newhouse and Tiffany Smiley. So nice to have competition because it makes the game more fun. It would be boring if only the winner was in the race. And I need to prep for that, so I got some time doing that. Plus, I just got a bunch of stuff around here, which I'm going to show you right now. We have some very sad news combined with some very, very happy, wonderful news. Oh, he's even going to talk to us. Oh, look at the cutie. You can hold that one. You got to hold it up so they can see it. Oh, look at the cuties. Aren't they cute? Oh, yeah. Oh, what's he talking about? Oh, he's got all these things to say. Oh, all these things to say. Aren't they cute? Look at them. Oh, yeah. What's wrong, buddy? Huh? What's wrong? It's okay. See? Yeah. Aren't they cute? I better turn on the chat so I can see what everybody's saying. Okay, I don't have a ton of things. I do have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about tonight, but I do want to have the chat open so we can chat about some different things. Can I have the black one? Oh, he's so cute. We had 8 puppies. They're Pyrenees doodles. Okay, you got to see the black one too. This is not a racist show. We have to show all the puppies, regardless of color. Oh, aren't they cute? They're, what are they, 2 days old? 3 days old?
Born on Sunday.
Yeah. Just so cute. And Mama's doing great. There's 8 puppies. The sad news is on the same day that we got 8 puppies, we also lost our dear, one of the best dogs we ever had, Black Lab. And so in the midst of all this craziness going on, we had to bury our Black Lab that night. So that was a real bummer. Yeah, we had another calf. Our cows are calving right now. So we had 2, I think everybody probably heard, we had 2 calves on July 4th. They are named Libby and Indy. Hey, Jake, can you say hi to everyone?
Hello.
This is my youngest son, Jake. He just bought a new car, a fancy new car. He just gave me a ride in. I would have been on time, or at least more close to it, had I not been wrestling with, guess what, Facebook. Shadow banned on Facebook, which includes Instagram, since they own that as well, YouTube, and on Twitter. So it's quite sad. I've been trying. I was going live on Instagram there without any issues, and now it won't even let me log in on my computer. So that's Facebook for you, and it's just unfortunate. It started back in 2020 when I started speaking out against the pandemic and just saying, like, raising my my flag, saying something doesn't look right here. It was March of 2020, and all I saw was fear sales nonstop, and I'm thinking something's not right here. So I started driving to hospitals and talking to people, and I found out the hospitals were not crowded. They weren't even busy. In fact, most of the people weren't even there. And then I just went online and I just started talking about it, saying, hey, I think this is not what it's being peddled to be. And I didn't know hardly anything at the time, but I was right. So yeah, keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. I want this to be a comment rich. I know I don't usually do that on these, but I am paying attention to the comments tonight. So let's see. There's a lot to talk about. So the campaign's going really good. We are in this thing to win it, and pretty confident that we're going to do very well in the primary. We have, if you're not in Washington State, here in Washington State, the pamphlet, the voters pamphlet that they send you that has all the information about the different candidates, that just came out yesterday. Did we get it yesterday in the mail? And the ballots will be out on Friday, probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, I'm sorry, not Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Monday. By Monday, all the ballots will probably be in hand across the various counties. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but each county is actually responsible for mailing their own voter pamphlet and, well, the ballots. Actually, I don't know about the voter pamphlet. I don't know if the state puts that together or if the counties do. But anyways, yeah, thanks, Jackie. Yeah, Dave, you got yours. And drop a comment if you're in the district and can somebody grab that big postcard that got sent out? It's an awesome, beautiful postcard, a big picture of me and President Trump's gun sent to the whole district, making sure everybody knows that I am the one that President Trump chose. And he chose me because he knows I'm going to fight for America, and I'm going to defend our Constitution and our natural rights. And I've done the work over the years to make sure that I'm ready for that. And I have not betrayed and will not betray the American people like Dan Newhouse has. This is it right here. Really cool, big, full size, full sheet. It shows what President Trump said about me on True Social, and then it's got a bunch of information on the back of it. I'm not as big of a fan of how the back looks, but it's fine. The designers do this stuff, and I think it looked really good. Actually, I think the back looked really cool when we looked at it on the computer screen, and then I saw it and I was like, whoa. But it's exciting. It's cool. I'm happy with it. It conveys the message, and yeah, it's good. This is the big part. It's tremendous, huge. Love President Trump. So speaking of President Trump, let's talk about that for a minute. I got a number of hysterical calls on Saturday when the attempted assassination happened. I, like you, have a number of questions about that. And, you're still waiting for your postcard, Susan. That's awesome. But let me just start with this, okay? The Secret Service snipers on the roof, those two guys that are in that video, they have radios on their ears. They have full communication with the entire team. There are Secret Service people standing within feet of President Trump. There is absolutely 100% zero reason why he was not secured during that process. When they found out, and those snipers are looking through their scopes and they see someone with a weapon within range, the absolute first thing is to secure the asset. So they should have secured President Trump, and they didn't do it. And I have no idea why they didn't do it. And those two did not respond in a way, at least from the video I saw, and as I understand it, they did not respond in a way that made any sense to me. when you are charged with the protection of someone like President Trump, you don't wait to see if they're going to shoot. If they are in range and they have a deadly weapon, and it seems quite reasonable that they have the intent, and even if you just waited with looking through your sniper, your vision, your scope, to see if they point the rifle, boom, they're dead. They're just dead. That's it. There is no hesitation. You don't give these people a chance, like, well, are they going to shoot? Or are they going to, they're not using the scope to like get a better view. And so why that didn't happen is a very good question. And I think it's one that I hope that we get the answers to. So that's number one. Number one is President Trump should have been secured as soon as the environment became insecure. That is just number one. They don't want to, to have to shoot at someone. But in this particular case, because of their lack of action, President Trump very easily could have been killed. Number one. Number two, this Corey oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess up his name. I'm not even gonna try to say his name. This honored retired firefighter. I know his name. First name's Corey. I need to learn his last name out of utter respect for his family and for his life. He lost his life because the Secret Service did not do their job. And I realized that the local police were responsible for that building, but that was just a mistake. They should not have been. That's the Secret Service's job to do that. So I'm not going to belabor that. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories, but they're also, because of how this went down, this will be just like JFK. This will be as big of a conspiracy in terms of what actually happened, because there are so many different scenarios of what could have actually happened there. That kid on the roof maybe didn't fire any shots. We don't know. Those shots could have come from elsewhere, and this could have been a setup, and that kid could have been set up. We don't know, unfortunately, because they didn't do their job. And that's very disappointing. And I also heard today that the head of the Secret Service currently is Jill Biden's buddy. So that should give you a little bit of an indication of why we're in this situation. So very disappointing. Let me just say one other thing about this whole situation before I talk about President Trump. Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, and the illegitimate Joe Obama both condemned the shooting, which is quite interesting. Not that it isn't the right thing to do, it's just not what they have ever done. You see, they have always lied. They have always raised the temperature in the room. They've always implicated President Trump. They've always done the wrong thing. Every single thing they say, every single thing they do, they've always chosen the wrong path. All of us are looking at the circumstances that America is in that moment, and we look and we say, okay, there's three choices in front of the White House right now. Which one are they going to choose? And they literally go that direction and choose one. Literally just the dumbest things every single time. And so I find it quite interesting that they condemn this, which is what they should do, right? Because that's not what they do. That the last 3.5 years, they've proven to us time and time again that they are either corrupt, filled with the devil, or just plain stupid and unlucky. And so it concerns me that they did the right thing here, because it makes me wonder what it is they're preparing for. What they normally would have said is something to the effect of an implication of President Trump and his actions and his words, or his people saying, well, that's the kind of thing that happens when you incite this sort of rhetoric and when you incite this sort of violence, and it's unfortunate, but they should tone it down and they should do. Doesn't that sound more like what they normally would say? Yeah, thank you, Corey Compurator. Compurator. Thank you, Dave. Corey Compurator. I am going to remember that name. I'm going to memorize that name, and I also want to find out if anybody knows the other two names of the people who are injured. I want to know those names also, because it's very important. I'm actually going talk about that in a couple of days. So what was I talking about? Just their actions. So they normally would implicate the president, and they would implicate all of us. So my question is, why did they not do that this time? And my concern is this: there is a very high likelihood, because of the way they have used the intelligence community, that this was somehow corrupt, that this was planned. We can't put it past them. Look at the situation here. Can you imagine the chaos this week at the RNC convention if President Trump had been assassinated? It would have basically shut down. It would have been complete and utter chaos. The country would be just absolutely gripping and grappling and torn apart. And so the timing really is questionable. It's like, oh boy, this is, and just all the other circumstances around it. And so my challenge with the way they responded is, it's like, okay, are they trying to say that they're not responsible? Because just a day or two before that shooting attempt happened, the illegitimate Joe Obama said, in so many words, he said something about it's time to put a target on Donald Trump. Doesn't that sound like inciting violence? Can you imagine if somebody on our side said, hey, it's time to put a target on Joe Obama? I mean, gosh, we would get hauled off by the FBI in 15 minutes. It's crazy. So, hey, Randy and Diane, how are you? Good to see you. So anyway, that's my take on that, and more to come on that. I'm also going to say that I have faced life-threatening situations in my life, unfortunately, on multiple occasions, both in the military and after the military. And I'm going to tell you that President Trump will never be the same again. And I'm going to say that for us, we now have an even better President Trump than what we had before as a result of this. When you go through life-threatening circumstances or situations, it changes you, and it deepens your resolve as a person beyond what you ever thought was possible. I have that experience personally. A lot of what drives me to do some of the things that I do is that very knowledge of sort of the depth of the resolve that I have to fight for what is right and to do what's right in life. And they are in big trouble, and we have a even better asset and team member and team leader in President Trump now because of this circumstance. It's horrific that he had to go through it. I'm incredibly thankful that it wasn't worse than what it was, but he is going to be a changed person. He will never look out of his eyes and see the world the same way that he did before Saturday evening. It's just the way it is. So drop your questions if you want. Again, I'm going to just give you a quick little recap for those of you who don't know. I was planning on going on earlier, but my youngest son bought a new car and he wanted to take me for a ride. I also got back I had 2 events today. And as soon as I got back, my wife was like, we got to go find this calf. There was a new calf that we have. It was born actually on Sunday. And we're just not positive what gender it is yet. And if it is a male, we have to put a ring around the testicles to basically turn it into a steer, because we don't want any rowdy bulls. I'm hoping that it's a heifer, because then we can continue to grow our herd. But anyways, we were trying to take care of that. So as soon as I got home, I'm totally sweating, like I'm just an absolute disaster, because this event we went to was out in the sun. And thank you everybody that came to that. It was awesome. It was in Badger Mountain Park in Richland, very close to Kennewick, kind of right on the edge there. And so I'm just, out in the field doing that. Well, then my mom wanted to go. And so my mom, she had to put her boots on, and then she walks a lot slower. And so a lot of times we'll hop on the quads and go out into the fields, and, when we got to do stuff like that. But we wanted to try to find this calf. So Nikki and I just walked, and with our muck boots on. I'm all dressed up in my stuff. Nikki actually got a picture of me walking with my mom. So that took a while. And then Jake wanted me to go for a ride in his car, and he's had it for a couple of days, and I still haven't done that. So we did that real quick. And then I couldn't get on Instagram, and I get irritated with, I don't ever like to be bullied, and especially with big tech. Big tech is nonstop bullying us and taking advantage of us. And it really bothers me. So anyway, good question, Jay. Thanks for jumping on here. Where are we going next? Tomorrow I'm going to be in Grandview. I'm actually going to be at this little cafe called Brewed Awakening for lunch. It's kind of a popular little spot in Grandview. I'm very thankful. The last couple days and tomorrow are very, very local. We live like 15 minutes from the Brewed Awakening in Grandview. So we just live in Prosser, which is the next town over. So that's awesome. And then Thursday, I'm going to be up in Yakima. We're doing a forum with Dan Newhouse and the Smiler. We're all going to be up there Thursday morning, and that's going to be televised. I don't know if it's going to be live or not, but we're actually going to videotape it, so we'll be able to have it in its entirety. Pray for me. I know there's going to be a lot of issues, a lot of questions on issues and various things. I think my sense is that most of the questions are probably going to be, what will you do if, or what will you do to fix X? And so I want to have some good responses for that, which I do for a lot of it, but we've got to go beyond, political jargon and rhetoric of, well, we're going to support President Trump. Well, of course, we're going to support President Trump, but we need to have some good, strong ideas, something that Dan Newhouse is not good at. We also need me to get elected, because I can actually get co-sponsors and get built, work with the House Freedom Caucus, which has already endorsed me, to be able to get the bills out of committee and to the floor. That's something Dan Newhouse is not capable of doing. One question that he's not capable of doing it because he doesn't have the relationships. I'm endorsed by a lot of his seatmates around him in Congress because they can't trust him, and they don't work with him because they can't trust him. And so he doesn't get anything put through. He has seniority, but he has no respect and no friendship. So he's not going to be able to get anything done. We might as well move on. There are some people that are concerned about the seniority question, but we really shouldn't be, because I've got the relationships to be able to make it happen. Beyond that, Jay, good question for you is, I'm going to be in Douglas County on Friday. Let me try and remember what all the stops are. You can go to Jerrod for Congress. I'll put this in the chat. Jerrod for Congress, I'm going to spell it right, .com/events. Is it just events, or is it events.htm? I think it's just events. You guys can try that and see if it works. But anyway, that should take you to a page that shows our events. Now, Douglas County, we're going to be at Rock Island at the golf course. I think it's lunch. We're going to be in East Wenatchee at Bob's Burger and Brews. I'm really looking forward to some of their food. Although I'll tell you, the food at the golf course in Rock Island looked really good too when I stopped by there. I think I was up there last week or something. And then that evening, we're going to be at Waterville, up on the hill in Douglas County. It's amazing. If you guys have never driven to see, we have like tundra in Douglas County, and it's up basically north and east of Waterville in Douglas County. It's one of the coolest drives, most unique drives in Washington State. And we did it the first time years ago. We were driving through there. It was really cool. And then Saturday, Sunday, this weekend, we're going to be up in Okanagan, starting with the parade. It's the Apple Pie Jamboree in Pateros, which is one of the most beautiful places in Washington, that whole Brewster, Pateros kind of area. It's amazing. Totally love it there. And then we're going to go up to OMAC. The Okanagan GOP is hosting me for a couple hours in the afternoon in OMAC. And then that evening, Saturday evening, we're going to be in Twisp or Winthrop. I think it's Winthrop, at the Winthrop Library. Kim Fry is hosting us there, and that should be a good one too. I'm not sure the time. I think it's like 5 to 7, but you can look on the events thing. And then Sunday morning, we are going to be going to church. And then midday for lunch, I think 11:30, we're going to be in Tenasket at Tenasket Pizza, one of my favorite places up there. But we have a bunch of other friends up there we want to see also. So we'll do lunch at Tenasket Pizza, and then we're going to go north to Orville. We're going to be in Orville at 2 at the Legion Hall, and I heard, I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I heard that Mark Herr is going to join us at that Orville meeting, which is quite exciting because Mark is probably one of my greatest mentors politically, and just in terms of how the American system of government, self-governance, is supposed to work. He started an organization called Center for Self-Governance, called CSG, and I will definitely, if he does come to that, I will be getting him to talk because he is amazing and he's taught me a ton, and I have a lot of respect for him. Let's see. And then, so that's 2:00, and then we're going to head back south. If we have time, we may go to the border just because it's so important. And I'd like to shoot a video up by the border. So if we have time for that, I will. A lot of people don't realize the challenges that we have at the northern border. And we need to make sure people are aware of that. Please drop your questions or your comments in. I'm looking at the comments, and I will, I'll shout those out or answer questions as you put them in there. So then we're going to go south from there. We're going to be in Riverside at friends at Owens Meats. And we're very excited to stop there at Ray and Tammy Owens meat shop there, right on the highway in Riverside. So it's up the hill from town, right on the highway. And hopefully we'll get a few people there. I think it'll be fun. They've got some just unbelievable beef jerky and summer sausage and just a bunch of stuff there. So just great. In fact, that they are the ones who, the little puppies I just showed you, those of you who got on late, you didn't get to see the puppies. Yeah, they're really good, Jay. They're awesome. Say hi to them. Ray's never down there, but Tammy runs it, and they've got a good crew there, and they make some really good quality stuff. And then, so that's 4:00 on, I think that's 4:00. Check the schedule in Riverside. And then after that, we're going to OMAC. We're going to be at the River of Life with Mark Doney. And we're going to spend a couple hours there, and that's going to be kind of a free dinner event. So, so if you want to come to that, if you're in that area, that'd be great. Shout out also. Well, I just want to say I'm thankful for everybody in Okanagan for supporting me. I only get up there about once a month, and we always have good turnout and good support from people, and I love how there's this sort of rainbow of folks across the district that, in terms of conservative, like you go into like Tri-Cities, that's definitely the most city-like place, and you get the most sort of anti-American rhetoric there, where you go, you kind of go away from that. Even Yakima is not nearly as bad as Tri-Cities, but then you get away from that, like Moses Lake, it's not as big, and it's more conservative, a lot more farming, stuff. And then but by the time you get to like Klickitat down south and Okanagan and even Douglas County up north, it's just like, oh my goodness, I entered America and I love it. And it's so awesome. So I don't know what it is about the cities, but it just is not. Just, I don't know. Let's see. What does Newhouse say about your campaign? Newhouse knows he's losing. That's what he says. What are the words that he uses against you? Susan's asking. I don't know. I don't know what words he's using against me. Tiffany Smiley is an interesting one. We just dropped a new video on YouTube. You guys could share that if you want. I did share it in our group chat, our team chat. That's going to go on TV here pretty soon. But Tiffany Smiley's interesting. She's obviously, she's got her debt that's well known that she needs to pay off. And Dan Newhouse needed someone to split the vote. I don't think she has any intention of going through the primary. She's certainly not doing anything that's going to help her overcome, our momentum with President Trump's endorsement, House Freedom Caucus endorsement, 3.5 years of work, a massive team of people across the district. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But I think there is a win-win-win here, because with Tiffany Smiley, she gets her debt paid off. Dan Newhouse is just trying to save face and get through the primary with a respectable enough number that people think that he can actually win the general. Not going to happen. And of course, I win the vote. So here's the thing that's interesting about Tiffany, and I do feel bad for her because of the circumstances that she got put into with her political consultants. At the end of the day, she's the candidate. It's her fault. It's her responsibility. But political consultants can really be slimy. And so I do feel bad for her that she got put in that situation and she has all that debt. I just don't agree with how she went about dealing with it. I just don't think that was the right thing. Here's the other thing that's interesting about her. And I guess, they had to kind of make up a story here. And unfortunately, I just don't think they realize how foolish they sound when she says this. But when people ask her, like, well, why are you running in this? Why did you announce in this after Sessler already had President Trump's endorsement, Washington State Republican Party, almost all the counties, the House Freedom Caucus, a bunch of representatives, General Flynn, Kash Patel, her response is interesting because she says, well, Sessler can't win. And it's just this interesting, dichotomy, I suppose, because it doesn't make sense. Because not a single person watching this or hearing that, if they were truly in this circumstance, so just paint the picture properly. You have Dan Newhouse, who has betrayed our trust. This is one of the most conservative districts in the country. We don't have a conservative congressman. We need a conservative congressman. We need somebody in Washington, D.C. that's going to hold that mantle for us. And we have that in me, right? And we're basically running head to head. There's other people in the race, but the way the numbers are going to work out, it's going to be between me and Dan Newhouse. And so not a single person would look at that circumstance and say, well, I'm just going to run. I'm going to announce I'm going to get in the race, because somehow somebody without any momentum, without really any meaningful experience, business-wise or otherwise, certainly not as compared to me, is just going to jump in the race and somehow save the day, super smiley. That's just not what people would say. What people would say is, and this is what Tiffany Smiley should have said, and she should have just come to me instead of running to Newhouse, but I'm sure he reached out to her too, because I know they met at least 3 times over the last couple of years, and so who knows what their plans were. But anyway, nobody responds that way. Everyone would say, just like you guys are doing, what can we do to help Sessler win? What does Sessler need to do to win? How can I be involved to make sure Sessler wins? What can be done to make sure Newhouse is exposed for the absolute and utter disgrace, which a lot of you don't even know some of the stuff that's gone on. I can tell you, but it's just disgusting. It's bad. So anyway, that's the fallacy. But Tiffany had to say something, right? She has to say, why she's running. She can't, I guess the most logical thing, which is totally illogical, is to say that I can't win, but it's just not true. I can win. In fact, we were 17 to 19 points ahead based on polling going into filing week, and And that's the reason why Dan Newhouse wanted a vote splitter. So, yeah, you could be right, Dave. Tiffany is still working for political consultants. And here's the interesting thing is if you've got political consultants that got you $1 million into debt, why would you continue with those people? Like you need to go beyond that. It just doesn't make any sense. Campaign wise, you're a MAGA tool, etc. Amen. Thank you. Yeah. Newhouse, Diane said Newhouse is careful not to mention Jerrod and only attack Smiley. It's true because, and it's interesting as people say, oh, well, if they're working together, why are they hitting each other? First of all, Tiffany Smiley is not telling people anything they don't already know. Here's the thing. Dan Newhouse isn't gaining any voters. We already know exactly how many votes he's going to get because it's the same votes he got in the last primary. Those are the only people that are unconscious enough to still vote for this guy. As far as Tiffany goes, Dan Newhouse can hit Tiffany because it doesn't matter how many votes she gets. She's not going to make it through the primary anyways. And so it's all just cover for their scheme. This is a Hail Mary by Dan Newhouse because he's trying to get through the primary with respectable enough numbers that he can justify whatever crazy lies he's going to tell about me in the general. And that's exactly what they're doing. So let's see, what else should we talk about? We've got about 15 events left. We were doing a round of about 50 events in 25 days. I've got 5 days left. I just kind of went through a few minutes ago and told you where I was going to be the next few days. The one I didn't mention is on Monday, and that is in Ephrata. They're having it's called the Old Time Political Rally. I hope some people show up to this because I went to that and I spoke at it rather confrontationally, according to some people. I didn't think so, but one of the other candidates, his people were not very happy with me, so I apologize for that. But yeah, hopefully people show up to this one because it is kind of cool. It was supposed to be in the spirit of it's called an old time political rally. That's how they promote it. Anyway, it's in Ephrata on Monday evening. And then we've got a couple of other events that we're going to be doing in Tri-Cities and Yakima over the next couple of weeks. But bottom line right now is we need to be at the doors. We've got thousands of door hangers that need to get out. The county parties are out knocking doors. They're sharing their endorsed list and slate. I'm very thankful for that. We got thousands of votes at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. The other day, we sponsored an evening, and they had us in. It was such a blessing, and many of the drivers, encouraged the fans to vote for me when they won or got on the podium. It was awesome, and also I got to speak in front of the crowd, which was really cool. It's a huge blessing. Thank you very much to Wenatchee Valley Super Oval for hosting us and for having us. And we look forward to doing another event there in September. So watch for that. And maybe we'll bring a 2-seat race car. We talk about doing this in Tri-Cities too, but it'd be fun to bring a 2-seat race car so I could give some people some rides again. We've done that in the past, and it is really fun to do. What else? What do you want to talk about? What do you want me to tell you about? We got all our signs out. Good job, Jay. I didn't know you guys had signs. Oh, you guys took some yard signs, I think. Our sign game is pretty crazy. We've got several thousand signs out. We have this entire shipping container that is empty. There's literally one box of yard signs left in my possession. I think that there are a few floating around Yakima, Tri-Cities, and Moses Lake, but for the most part, I think almost all the signs that everybody has are out. I just picked up, I think, 2 4x8 signs in Moses Lake last night. We had a big event at Smulligan's, which was great, by the way. Thank you to the Smalls for hosting us. Warren and Cynthia up at Smulligan's in Moses Lake. They have such great food. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. There's actually some leftover pizza right back there. Jake was eating some earlier. And Nikki came up with my mom last night. That was fun. But her mouth was almost dripping like mouth water. Don't tell her I said that. When she came in, because she was really looking forward to one of their brisket sandwiches, which she really loves. So that was fun and very satisfying. They have great food up there, so please support them. So Chili Whist. What is chill? What did you say, Jay? Chill Whist? Chili Whist? Is that like a little town that I don't know of? Oh my goodness, I'm in big trouble if that's in the district and I don't know about it. What else? You guys got questions? Yeah, I can talk about that. Let me just say that I've been listening to some of the speeches from the RNC this week. I haven't had much time, but I was appreciative that Stacy on the right was playing some of the speeches, and there were some pretty heartwarming ones there. I saw a couple that President Trump was listening to, and such a blessing. I wanted to say I saw a video of President Trump, and I saw a facial expression in him that I'd never seen before, and I think is a big come to Jesus moment for him this last week, and I think he's a changed man in a good way forever. I don't know how he could have been a better leader than he was before, but I think he is now, and he will be. So, Chili Whist, our highway in the mountains. Oh, geez, that's funny. That's awesome. And yeah, so the plan for when I get to Congress, boy, that's a big question. I have to do a whole show just for that. But I'll tell you, the number one plan is to communicate. I am. I'm very passionate about making sure that we communicate with the people in the district about what's going on, and my plan is to do that via a weekly video that we try to keep short, maybe 3 to 5 minutes each week, just sort of explain what's going on, sort of talk through the issues. But there's a bunch of other stuff that I want to do too, and specifically here in the district, how we serve the people best. I don't think that most representatives around the country, the way that they're staffing their offices in district or in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is kind of a different story, but in district for sure, I just don't think that they're doing it in the most advantageous way. And I have a plan. You can actually go check that out. It's at the Eastern Washington Helpline, and that's ewahelpline.com. ewahelpline.com. I should drop a note in the chat, but you can go look at that. And basically, we're going to amass a group of volunteers. And my time when I'm in district is going to be spent mainly with those people that are involved in that, because there's no way that I can personally service and reach out to, 750 to 800,000 people. It's just not possible. So we need that team. It's going to be a volunteer team. It needs to have a bunch of specialty people in it and on it to be able to help with it. And so I'm very thankful for that vision. I feel like God's given me a vision for how we can run that, and look forward to doing it. Diane, I have never met Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House right now. I do look forward to meeting him, have a lot of respect for him. I do not think that he will be the Speaker in the next Congress for a couple of reasons, but I do think that we'll have a good speaker and a strong speaker, and I don't have anything against Mike Johnson other than I just don't feel like he has the depth in terms of his negotiation skills that we need for that position, and that's my take on it. And that's not disparaging to him. I think he's a very nice man. I think he loves Jesus. He's got a great family, and he's serving honorably. But this is not a compliment on Kevin McCarthy at all. because I didn't like or agree with his tactics or his style, but he definitely knew how to negotiate. And unfortunately, we need to find somebody that has those same or similar strengths in terms of negotiation, but also has integrity. And that's what we need in the next Speaker of the House. So God bless Mike Johnson, and I look forward to meeting him. Continue to pray for Bob Good in Virginia. As it looks right now, the district has certified his competition in that race, and he was down somewhere around 1,000 or 1,200 votes or something. And they're pushing back on that because of some known corruption in the voting in at least one of the counties, if not multiple. I definitely and absolutely 100% hope that Bob Good continues, because he is a great man and a great congressman and a man of integrity who understands how this country works. And it would just be a real disappointment for me to not have an opportunity to serve side by side with him in Congress. Okay, yeah, let's get America back on track. I don't know about you, but I am really excited for President Trump's speech on Thursday. I don't know what time it's going to be. I should have some time between our lunch forum and the event we're doing in Yakima on Wednesday or Thursday evening. And I do hope that I get to watch President Trump, because I think that's going to be a historic speech. And that will be his speech at the RNC. That is, it's pretty widely anticipated. So looking forward to that. So anyway, what other questions you got? You guys got anything? Otherwise, I need to go get some water and get some sleep. But watch for the new video. If somebody has the link to that new video, you could drop it in the chat so I can see if I can find it here. Yeah, here it is. You guys can check this out, and you can share it if you want. Yeah, that'll be really good. So share that around, and so we'll be wrapping up our big, we call it the Freedom Tour, mostly on Monday. We still have a couple events. Obviously, the events are never going to stop, but the big ones we are promoting through that are going to wrap up. I think it'll be on Monday, and then that'll give us about 2.5 weeks to really be at the doors, at events, at, I don't care where it is, Walmart, Safeway. I love Mia up in Yakima. She loads up her cart when she goes to the grocery store with all the Jerrod Sessler stuff and walks around the store, and people see it and they talk to her, and she gives them flyers and tells them who to vote for, and it's really awesome. All of us have the ability to do that. Many of you are driving around the district, helping me, going to events, getting stuff set up. It's really, really helpful. So really appreciate it. So I think I will wrap it up. I do have a bunch of other topics, but I am pretty fatigued. I'll be honest. I've had some pretty rough days here recently, just in terms of not getting enough sleep. And I want to do more of these lives so that I can just kind of share my heart and also give people a chance just to hear me. I'm not in this for notoriety or to check any boxes or to see my name on the wall or on a door. I'm in this because I want to go to work for the American people. And unfortunately, I think that Dan Newhouse has proven that he's in this for Dan Newhouse. And we have many, many examples of that, including his whopping investments. If you look at his public disclosures, it's got pages and pages and pages of stock market investment accounts. It's like, why, how is this even possible? All this kind of stuff going on. And Tiffany Smiley is working to get her debt paid off and to continue to be something, but she's really done politically because of the nature of what she's done in this race and how she got in. Now, again, I went through this earlier. I feel bad for her circumstances. I just wish she would have handled it in a different way. And there's a number of different things that she could have done to do that. So anyway, God bless you. Thank you. Just continue to pray for our country and just everything that's going on, and for our leaders, and for God's heart to just grab us. I will only wrap up with this, and I'll say that I have been quite hopeful the last couple of days to see kind of this softening and this movement, not just to President Trump, but to God, and for people to start to realize, like, wait a second, maybe we've been wrong all along. I mean, I've seen more videos from leftists who have come out and said, you know what, we've been lied to. The media was lying to us the whole time. And that's just this really heartwarming for me, because those of you who know me know and have heard me speak, that I repeatedly say that this fight that we're in is not going to be resolved with one election. The only way it's going to be resolved is if the American people return to biblical morality. I would love to see revival in America. I'd love to see revival throughout the world. But that's the direction that we need to go. And one more final thing, and I did touch on this last night, but every single person that has incited lies or violence or threats over this last few years directed at either people like us in the MAGA movement or President Trump are complicit with the assassination attempt on Saturday. They are literally begging people to do that through their words, by lying about President Trump, by accusing him of things that he hasn't done, and by just straight up saying that you and I are the threats to democracy. They are inciting young, ignorant, mentally unstable minds to pick up guns and to do what this young man did on Saturday. They are complicit. The Democrat Party, who continues to support this craziness, I know there's many Democrats out there that don't. Some are supporting me, believe it or not, because I'm not part of the Uniparty. I'm just a real person fighting for America. Everyone from Hollyweird, all those Holly weirdos, except the ones that are not telling lies, all the ones that are speaking up, that have literally ruined their careers. Many of us will never, ever see a Robert De Niro movie again, and I haven't for years, because he ruined himself years ago. The guy's a buffoon. And who's this other guy now? This one everybody thinks is so good looking. He did the Ocean's 11 or whatever. I don't remember what his name is. You guys write in the chat. You guys know who I'm talking about. Obama's buddy. Ruined their careers. And not just the Holly weirdos and the Democrats, but also the media. Mainstream media is complicit with the violence. They are absolutely 100% complicit and somewhat responsible. Yeah, George Clooney, Diane, thank you. They just totally ruined themselves. And so anyway, I just want to say that they need to apologize. They need to come back. They need to realize that the America that allowed them to have the great lives that they've had is the one that we're fighting for, not the one that they're trying to turn it into. So anyway, God bless you all. I'm going to continue to try to do these. I apologize I haven't done them so much the last couple of weeks, but oh boy, it's been tough. You can tell even right now I'm really tired, and I can feel it in myself. Like, I get a certain amount through the day and I'm just like, whoa, I'm really riding on empty here. And it's not just food that I need or water. I need more sleep. But you know what? I go to bed. If I go to bed at 1 o'clock, I wake up at 4:35, 6, whatever. And I'm just, all right, let's go. And so anyway, it's a lot. It takes a lot of energy out of you to do the public speaking and answer questions and feel like you want to be in a position where you're answering things correctly, and you want to give people hope. You can also pray for me. The one thing that I've been working on, that I see a lot of other leaders that I respect, and I definitely see this in President Trump more so now than ever before. Although I feel like he's always had this talent. Um, is I want to be a leader that is able to take the temperature down in the room. All of us can raise our voice and we can get things amped up and we can go down conspiracy theory paths, even if they're true, and we can really rev people up. And all that does is play to their method of wanting to lead through fear. I don't want to lead through fear. I believe God's got us. I think that He's got a mission and a vision for us. I think that He's got a plan for us through this. I trust Him to speak through me. I trust Him to help me make decisions. I trust Him to help other leaders make decisions. I trust Him to give us strength when we need it and rest when we need it. And I think we have every reason to believe that we should be excited and that we should be passionate about what's the best that is to come in America in the future. And I think that's where we're headed. And that's the kind of leader that I want to be. It's difficult to always be that way because we do face difficult circumstances, but just pray for me that I find ways to present it in ways that isn't personally disparaging to people or whatever. But that's what I want to do. When I was in business, I read a book called, I read about 20 to 25 books a year, still do, love reading. Didn't read when I was a kid, but I picked it up later. Now about a third of the books I read hard copy, and about 2/3 is on audio, because I can do it while I'm driving. And I just love reading. I can't remember what I was going to say. It got off of my book thing there. But I just really enjoy learning and continuing to increase my knowledge so that I can be more wise. I can improve the situation that we have here in America, and I can help defend what we have as Americans. And I think knowing our American history is very important to that. Understanding human history is very important to that, because in a lot of ways, I think we're repeating it. But at the end of the day, I think we have a lot more reasons to be hopeful than we have to be fearful. And so I want to try to be that person that can bring the temperature down in the room and just encourage people. So anyway, God bless you. Thank you for coming on tonight, and we'll see you again soon.